members of Startup Mahakumbh and our valued stakeholders from the startup ecosystem. The grand celebration of entrepreneurship is a testament to India's unstoppable journey towards becoming the world's innovation powerhouse. Today, we stand at the crossroads of unprecedented growth where deep tech, AI, IoT, and homegrown ingenuity are propelling India into a new era of self-reliance and global leadership. Startup Mahakumbh is not just an event, it is a movement, a platform where India's brightest minds come together to shape the next decade of disruptive innovation. From tech-driven transformation to sustainable growth, from policy enablers to industry disruptors, we are all part of a shared vision to make India the startup capital of the world. We are honored to have with us today some of the finest minds in the government, industry, and technology, all of whom have played a significant role in shaping India's innovation-driven economy. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our esteemed dignitaries. I, Prableen,
and I, Ragini, from Startup India DPITT, are honored to welcome you all to this momentous occasion as we come together to celebrate the second edition of Startup Mahakumbh, commemorating the extraordinary journey of India's entrepreneurial landscape. Our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, has envisioned a thriving startup ecosystem built on innovation, self-reliance, and global competitiveness. As he rightly says, आज का स्टार्टअप कल का मल्टीनेशनल होगा और आज का उद्यमी कल का वैश्विक लीडर बनेगा. Today's startup is tomorrow's multinational and today's entrepreneur will be the global leader of the future. After a phenomenal debut which saw over 1,300 startup exhibitors, 48,000 business visitors, 392 top-tier speakers, 5,000 delegates, 200 investors, and 4,000 aspiring entrepreneurs, the Startup Mahakumbh event returns bigger and better. Startup Mahakumbh 2025 will see attendance of 3,000 exhibitors, 1,000 investors, 500 incubators, and over 50,000 business visitors. We also have delegates from over 50 countries and 30 states and UTs, making Startup Mahakumbh one of the largest startup events globally. Startup Mahakumbh will also mark the launch of Startup Maharathi, India's largest private sector-funded innovation challenge, with a corpus of 50 crore prize money, funding, partnerships, and more. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our time. This is India's Startup Mahakumbh, where the future of global entrepreneurship is being written. To begin this event, it is my honor to invite a true pioneer in the Indian startup ecosystem, someone who has played a key role in nurturing and shaping several groundbreaking ventures. Please welcome Shri Prashant Prakash, founding partner Accel India, for the keynote address.
Good evening, everyone. It's an honor and pleasure on behalf of the organizing committee for me to express my gratitude to the Honorable Minister for Commerce and Industries, Shri Piyush Goyal ji, for giving us this opportunity to organize the second edition of the Startup Mahakumbh. And sir, thank you for gracing the occasion and getting us started today. We've got started in the morning, and I was just mentioning that we just got the number that we have seen 27,000 visitors just in the first day. That's almost what we saw in 3 days in the last Mahakumbh. So we're already 3x better than last year. Anyway, so I hope you all enjoy the experience this year, and the energy and the momentum is very palpable, and looking forward to a great 3 days with all of you. I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to DPIIT Secretary Mr. Nabardeep Singh and our Joint Secretary Mr. Sanjeev Singh for their unwavering support to help us for not only being the backbone and the pillar for the organizing committee, sir, but for pushing us and filling the gaps wherever we were found lacking. Thank you so much, sir. I'd like to also express my gratitude to the key sponsors without whom and we were very fortunate to get these anchor sponsors who not only supported last year but have come back and supported us in a bigger manner this year. SIDBI, GEM, ECGC, MITI, ONGC, DRDO. So I think there was one big change compared to last year. So we not only had the SIDBI and the ONGC, SIDBI and these sponsors, but we have strong support from large government corporations such as ONGC and the defense sector through DRDO. So this, I think, is turning out to be a platform for entrepreneurs to meet very large opportunities, intersect with very large opportunities in defense and in the oil and gas sector, which they would not have seen otherwise. So really, I would like to thank all the government departments for joining hands with us and supporting us. I would like to thank our partners, FICCI, who have been helping us in the entire organization, TIE, who's been helping us in the mentoring sessions, NASSCOM in deep tech, IVCA for all the investor connects and bringing 1,000+ investors onto the Mahakumb, and Bootstrap Foundation. Thank you, IVCA. So without all your support, this dream of ours would not have come true. The response, like I said, is incredible. From when we opened the gates this morning, the crowds have been buzzing. We have been seeing very great response for the speak. I think one thing that I believe we have nailed this year, and if you have not already started viewing the content in our main stage, please visit. I think the entire team here, the organizing committee has put together a lot of effort to get the best speakers, and you will not see such a wide-ranging, such a diverse set of speakers in any other conference in the country as you would see here. So if you have not already been to one of the sessions next 2 days, please visit them. A special thank you for all the delegates from the 50+ countries for coming all the way from across the globe. We thank you for your support, and I hope you learn about the Indian startup ecosystem and we build new bridges with your countries. And finally, I would like to thank the 10,000+ startup founders. We have 3,000 startups, but 10,000 startup, and this is also 3x more than last year. I would like to thank all the startup founders, the 10,000+ founders for being here, from not only founders who are already started, but we have 500+ future founders, and this has been a dream and vision of our Honorable Minister to make sure that we not only get founders who have got started, but get founders who are yet to start and get them to come and see what it takes to build here in India. So we are fortunate to have this give them this opportunity to come and meet startups. So, and finally, on behalf of the 27 members of the organizing committee, our pavilion leads, our countless volunteers, I'd like to thank you for putting together this world-class experience. Let us use this next 3 days to connect, co-create, and catalyze India's next decade. This decade is ours, and we'll make it ours. Welcome to Startup Mahakumbh 2.0. Let's unfold the Bharat story together. Thank you.
Thank you, Prashant sir, for your inspiring words and for setting the stage. Your enthusiasm for promoting the startup ecosystem is not just evident with your words, but also through the instrumental role you have played in nurturing some of India's most iconic startups.
I would now like to welcome Shri Harshvardhan Agarwal, President, FICCI, to share his insights on the role of startups in India's economic growth.
Honorable Minister for Commerce and Industry, Shri Piyush Goyal ji, Shri Amardeep Singh Bhatia, Secretary DPIIT, Shri Sanjeev, Joint Secretary DPIIT, members of the organizing committee, distinguished guests and friends, a very good evening. It's an honor to stand before this gathering of policymakers, entrepreneurs, investors and thought leaders who embody the spirit of innovation driving Bharat forward. Today, as we explore the road to Startup India 2047, we aren't just envisioning economic growth, we are shaping a self-reliant, globally influential India. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Shri Piyush Goyal ji for his unwavering leadership in fostering India's startup ecosystem. His vision has been instrumental in shaping policies that empower entrepreneurs and drive innovation. With over 1.6 lakh DPIIT recognized startups, India ranks as the world's third largest startup ecosystem, generating over 17 lakhs jobs. As Steve Jobs said, innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. India is choosing to lead. Our policy landscape has made entrepreneurship more accessible, simplified compliance, self-certification, and single window clearances have fueled growth. The rupees 10,000 crore fund of funds for startups and the Startup India Seed Fund scheme have provided critical entry stage support. The Bhaskar platform, launched in 2024, is set to centralize collaboration within our startup ecosystem. A significant trend shaping our ecosystem is reverse flipping, where startups that once incorporated abroad are now returning home. With access to India's financial markets through IPOs, increased investors' confidence, and improved regulatory frameworks, India is becoming the preferred destination, not just for startup creation, but for long-term growth. This shift highlights the maturity of our capital markets and the faith our entrepreneurs place in Bharat's future. This event offers an unparalleled opportunity to connect, collaborate, and scale. With 3,000 plus startups, 1,000 plus investors, and delegates from 50 countries, it is one of the largest showcases of innovation spanning themes such as AI, health tech, agri-tech, fintech, energy, climate tech, and more. AI and deep tech must lead the way in creating scalable, sustainable, and frugal solutions. India has always been known for its ingenuity, doing more with less. Now we must apply this mindset to build cost-effective innovations that solve real-world problems. To our startup founders, now is the time to think bigger, tackle the impossible, and turn global challenges into opportunities. Climate change, healthcare, agriculture, education equity, these are not just problems. These are calls to action. Let us push boundaries, take risks, and create solutions that redefine what is possible. FICCI remains committed to nurturing a thriving startup culture. Through impactful programs, strategic partnerships, and global engagement, we continue to empower entrepreneurs and innovators. The road to 2047 is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Success requires persistent effort from government, industry, academia, and civil society. Together, we can build a self-reliant, globally competitive startup ecosystem that elevates Bharat and enriches the world. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Harsha sir. Your efforts in championing industry-led innovation have been instrumental in strengthening India's economic foundation.
It is now my honor to invite Shri Naveen Kumar Singh, Chairman of NCIIPC, to share an overview of the NCIIPC Startup AI Challenge.
Honorable Union Minister for Commerce and Industry, Shri Piyush Goyal, dignitaries on and off the dais, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you. It's indeed a great pleasure and a privilege to be standing here amongst all of you this evening. Historically and geopolitically, the world is at the cusp of tectonic changes, one that is likely to affect the present as well as the future generations. It is now a widely accepted fact that the artificial intelligence and machine learning is an epoch-changing technology likely to have a fundamental effect on the world order akin to the computing itself. Traditional notions of security we are reinventing as we speak, especially in the technology security domains that we operate. It is clear that the overwhelming talent in the tech space is situated in the private sector and academia, most importantly in our startup ecosystem. The Honorable Prime Minister, during his visit to NTRO, of which the National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center is a unit, had specifically emphasized the role of startups and our indigenous industry in meeting our requirements of using niche technologies in the national and cybersecurity domain. With the aim of actualizing his vision, combining the potential of startups as a medium and AI as the technology, NCIPC has come up with a plan to conduct the first of its kind NCIPC Startup India AI Grand Challenge on the theme Responsible AI for National Security. This launch represents over a year-long effort by many of our colleagues to capture and articulate the key challenge areas where we think the startup ecosystem can make a major difference. We hope that in 2047, some of the startups that come up through this grand challenge will be occupying the Indian mid and large size cyber company space with roots deeply embedded in India, serving the nation and the world. Howsoever we envision the Indian AI stack going ahead, these companies and the talent would be an integral part of the same. Through this, we also want to contribute our bit towards building the security and especially the cybersecurity tech stack of Bharat in line with the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister. Our optimism also stems from the fact that as of yesterday, we have completed the formalities and onboarded FICCI, IIT Delhi as our incubation partner. We'll be providing world-class incubation support facilities in the intermediate stages to the startups and also creating a state-of-the-art in-house incubation facility for the final round of startups to work in our premises on our data. In addition, we'll be bringing together the best minds in domain-specific AI application from academia and industry across the country to mentor and evaluate the solutions. Our message to the startups is that those working in these domains should immediately gear up to participate in this grand challenge. We are extremely invested in the success of this program and finding optimal solutions to the problems we are posing. This challenge is only the beginning of what we can do together. So express interest and get ready to register for the NCIPC Startup India AI Grand Challenge. Before I end, I would like to especially thank Secretary DPITT, Startup India and their entire team for guiding us in framing this unique challenge, which has all ingredients for success, and more so for agreeing to become our execution partner. We look forward to leveraging the ecosystem of Startup India to remain ahead of others in our quest for using AI responsibly for national security. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Naveen sir, for your positive address and invaluable contributions to strengthening India's cybersecurity landscape. I would now like to invite Shri Sanjeev, Joint Secretary DPIIT, for his address.
माननीय पीयूष गोयल सर और मंचासीन सदस्यगण और यहाँ आए हुए सभी स्टार्टअप के कंस्टिट्यूएंट्स, चाहे वो स्टार्टअप हों, इनक्यूबेटर्स हो, एक्सेलरेटर्स हो, आप सबका आज इस प्रोग्राम में बहुत स्वागत है। मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा पीयूष गोयल सर का, जिन्होंने इस स्टार्टअप महाकुंभ की परिकल्पना की थी। जिस तरह महाकुंभ में सभी लोग मिलकर एक हुए, उसी तरह आज इस महाकुंभ, प्रोबेबली आप लोग सभी लोगों ने स्टार्टअप, आपने महाकुंभ में स्नान किया न किया हो, पर इस स्टार्टअप महाकुंभ में आप सभी इकट्ठा हुए हैं। और जो आज एनर्जी थी, दैट इज टोटली वेरी वेरी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम व्हाट वाज देयर इन द लास्ट एपिसोड। अभी सर से मैंने यही गुजारिश की कि दिस इज़ अ वेरी ऑर्गेनिक क्राउड। ऐसा नहीं है कि हम लोगों ने कहीं से लोगों को बुलाया, लोग आकर हमसे लड़ने लग गए कि मेरे को पॉट दो। बहुत खुशी होती है जब अपना स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम इतना सजग होके अपने राइट्स की बात करता है। एंड वी एट DPITT आर एट योर सर्विस। एंड मैं यही कहूँगा कि स्पेशली वी हैव participation from 64 countries of the world, and we will request our startups to definitely meet them and see what is their what they have to offer and learn from them। और आपस में भी आप कनेक्ट करें और इंटरैक्ट करके आपस में एक सप्लाई चेन बनाने की प्रयास करें। जैसे चाय बनाने का ही मैं अभी देख रहा था, तो चाय बनाने वाले भी हैं, चाय की कप बनाने वाले भी हैं, और सब लोग अगर आपस में मिलके करेंगे तो भारत निसंदेह स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम का सबसे बड़ा तो बहुत जल्द हो जाएगा, सबसे अच्छा और सबसे बेस्ट इकोसिस्टम होगा, और ये हम सभी लोगों को मिलकर करना है। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Sanjeev sir, for your insightful address on empowering the entire audience here today. We truly appreciate your commitment to nurturing a vibrant, self-reliant and future-ready startup landscape. I would now request Shri Piyush Goyal sir to please launch the video on Startup Mahakumbh 2025.
मैं स्टार्टअप महाकुंभ हर नए विचार की क्रांति, हर इनोवेशन की कहानी, भारत के उद्यमशील भविष्य की पहचान। क्या आपको पता है कि एक छोटा सा आइडिया कैसे एक बड़ा बदलाव ला सकता है? क्या आपने कभी सोचा है कि एक सपना कैसे लाखों लोगों की जिंदगी बदल सकता है? यही तो है मेरी ताकत। मैं वो मंच हूं जहां इनोवेशन का मेल होता है, आइडिया हकीकत बनते हैं और स्टार्टअप्स भविष्य गढ़ते हैं। आज भारत सिर्फ एक देश नहीं, बल्कि एक उद्यमशीलता की क्रांति बन चुका है, जहां हर स्टार्टअप एक नए समाधान की नींव रख रहा है, जहां हर नवप्रवर्तक एक नए युग की शुरुआत कर रहा है। लेकिन ये सब शुरू हुआ 2016 में, जब आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने स्टार्टअप इंडिया मिशन की नींव रखी।
देश में ऐसे नौजवानों को तैयार करें जिसको कभी किसी पर निर्भर न रहना पड़े। मेरे देश का नौजवान जॉब सीकर नहीं, जॉब क्रिएटर बनना चाहिए। मेरा देश का नौजवान मांगने वाला नहीं, देने वाला बनना चाहिए।
आज मेरे साथ 1,60,000 से अधिक स्टार्टअप जुड़ चुके हैं। इनोवेशन से 15 लाख से अधिक नौकरियां बनी हैं। मैं भारत के 95% से अधिक जिलों तक अपनी पहचान बना चुका हूं। Tier 2 और Tier 3 शहरों में भी मैं तेजी से बढ़ रहा हूं। मैं हर साल नई ऊंचाइयों को छू रहा हूं। मैं स्टार्टअप महाकुंभ आज भारत के सबसे बड़े स्टार्टअप इवेंट के रूप में खड़ा हो, जहां आइडियाज मिलते हैं, संभावनाएं बढ़ती हैं और स्टार्टअप्स भविष्य बनाते हैं। तो आइए इस नवाचार के महाकुंभ में भारत को दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा स्टार्टअप हब बनाने का सपना साकार करें।
That was truly an inspiring glimpse into the future of India's startup ecosystem. We would now request Shri Naveen Kumar Sir to mark the official launch of the much anticipated NCIIPC Startup AI Challenge, an initiative to encourage AI-driven innovation in India. Congratulations to all involved in making this initiative a reality. It is our great honor to welcome a true champion of India's entrepreneurial spirit, Shri Piyush Goyal Sir, Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industry. Sir's visionary leadership has been instrumental in shaping policies that empower startups, drive innovation, and position India as a global startup powerhouse. Sir, we warmly welcome you to share your thoughts on Startup Mahakumbh, the next decade for startups.
Thank you very much. Very nice to see our own startup, India, children developing into good event sponsors. And I think it's that hesitation that has to go out, which I can see that both these young sisters have picked up very well. Well done. Shri Prashant Prakash ji, Shri Harshvardhan Agarwal ji, Sanjeev Bhikchandani ji, Mr. Sanjeev, Secretary DPIIT, who's looking after Startup India, Shri Bhuvnesh Pratap Singh ji, Naveen Kumar ji, thank you for this wonderful initiative. Really appreciate it. Shri Sumit Jarangal ji, Madam Archana Jagirdar ji. Of course, there's so many people in the room here whom I would love to acknowledge individually for the very, very deep insights and humongous contribution that each one of you in this room has given towards the success of Startup Mahakumbh in its second edition. I won't take names, but I do hope each one of you in this room is extremely successful in your life, because what you have done for the country, the contribution, the sacrifices that all the organizing committee members on the stage, off the stage, the entire team which has spent relentless hours, day in and day out, मुझे भी काफ़ी कुछ झेला इन सब ने, और आसान नहीं है मुझे झेलना, काफ़ी कुछ डांट डूट भी पड़ जाती है. But truly what you all have done is remarkable, and a big round of applause to the entire organizing committee. Thank you all the sponsors who have been very generous with their support, and of course the very purpose of this Startup Mahakumbh is all of you young men and women, ladies and gentlemen, participants of the Startup Expo, all of those who have come in from far and wide to showcase what good work you have done. A big congratulations to each and every of the 3,000 participants. And I did ask Sanjeev कि इतने लोग कहाँ से इकट्ठे कर लिए. बिलीव तो बहुत है, पर मुझे लगा कि साधारणतः अगर प्रधानमंत्री जी आज थाईलैंड नहीं गए होते तो वो जरूर आके स्टार्टअप महाकुंभ का शुभारंभ करते. But sadly the days are completely aligned. He's left this morning at 6:20 and he's returning back to Delhi 6th evening. So all the 3 days he's on international travel up to the 5th, and from there he goes to Tamil Nadu. So really we are missing him, particularly as I was seeing the video. And I recalled that this whole idea of Startup India was launched in 2016 from Vigyan Bhavan. I don't know if you saw that video just now, when the Startup India was launched. That's Vigyan Bhavan. That used to be India's premier location for all grand functions. All major functions where the president, the vice president, or the honorable prime minister, any of our honorable dignitaries was attending, they were all being held at Vigyan Bhavan. Look at the metamorphosis between 2016 and today, when we are assembled in this grand premises at Bharat Mandapam. That is the changing landscape of new India that we are all witnessing. Incidentally, now we don't have one, but two equally big and equally grand convention cum exhibition centers, Bharat Mandapam and Yashobhumi in Dwarka. पर मैं थोड़े ऑर्गेनाइजर्स से अभी भी दुखी हूं, क्योंकि हमारी जो कल्पना है आज के दिन, आपने सुना होगा भारत मोबिलिटी, भारत टेक्स, हमारा फूड एग्जीबिशन, ये सब जो हो रहे हैं अभी 6 डिजिट एरिया में होते हैं. आप अभी भी 5 डिजिट एरिया में हो. 1 लाख स्क्वायर मीटर के नीचे आजकल भारत में कोई एग्जीबिशन होती नहीं है. और हमारा साइज, हमारी स्केल, हमारी अंतरराष्ट्रीय व्यापक जो पोजीशनिंग है, India today is not taken lightly. We are the world's 5th largest GDP. Before the end of calendar 25, we'll be the world's 4th largest GDP. And by 2027, the 3rd largest economy in the world, just 2.5 years from now, overtaking Japan and then Germany. अब इतना बड़ा अगर हमारी छलांग लगाने की ताकत भी है, हिम्मत भी है और संकल्प भी है, नहीं सॉरी नहीं है, तो हमने तो हमारे दिल की बात बोल दी भाई, और प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी भी है। पर ये जो चेंजिंग माइंडसेट है, this is best reflected at the Startup Mahakumbh. Truly, what the organizers have done in a short span of 2 years is unbelievable. Who could have imagined when in 2023, around, if I remember correctly, it would have been about October, November 2023. November 2023. When was your program at Newborn, at Gurgaon? So first week of November, Sanjeev Bikhchandani and a team, Archana and all of them had set up a slush type event at the Oberoi in Gurugram, which I had attended. Excellent program, beautifully organized. But you can imagine at a Oberoi hotel, 5-star hotel, how much space, how much participation was possible. But the energy in that room, when I attended the program in November 23, was truly captivating. And I think there from the dais, I had said that within the next 6 months, we should have the largest startup event that India has ever had in Delhi. And I must say, Sanjeev, Prakash, and a lot of Rajan Anandan from Peak 5, Peak V, what is the right way? Ex-Google, I remember. And a lot of our other friends in the room, they got down to working on Startup Mahakumbh. And I think it was around 18th March last year, probably, or thereabouts, when we had the first edition of Startup Mahakumbh, and it was in a smaller area, probably 10 or 15,000 square meters. But it was truly remarkable. It was beyond what we had expected. And as most people who have worked with me at any point of time, and I think somebody who works with me once is always prays and wishes he doesn't have to work with me a second time. That's the impression most officers give me. Arvind, why are you so surprised? But anyway, from the dais at the event in Oberoi, I demanded the largest event to be held in 6 months. This team delivered. We had an outstanding Startup Mahakumbh last year, which was inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister. Spent a lot of time meeting up with the startups, interacting with them. Truly inspired all of us. And we were about 3,000-4,000 of us at that time. And I must say, the challenge for Startup Mahakumbh 2 was almost taken up from the dais of Startup Mahakumbh 1. And what we have today is 3 times bigger, 3 times as many participants in terms of exhibitors. And from the numbers that we are hearing of today, at least, if not more, 3 times the number of visitors coming to see the Startup Mahakumbh this time. Of course, it's very appropriate you've elected Narendra Modi for the 3rd term. And he had promised you that he'll work 3 times harder, with 3 times greater speed. He'll work for 3 times bigger outcomes. And I think it's only in the fitness of things that as I stand on this dais, I should be demanding for the third Startup Mahakumbh. No? But okay, I'll take a poll. What do you say? The third Startup Mahakumbh should be 3 times bigger? आवाज सुनाई नहीं दे रही है. 3 times bigger? 3 times grander? 3 times more participants? And will it be the world's largest startup event? पक्का? लॉक कर दे? तुरंत लॉक कर दे. कोई तुमको हेल्पलाइन तो नहीं चाहिए? Prashant, not much choice in the matter. Secretary Defense is also here. A warm welcome to Rajesh Kumar Singh ji. He was the architect of Startup One, by the way. It was done under his tutelage. So he really deserves a big round of applause. And the fantastic work that our Defense Department Ministry has done is also a story in itself. Our exports today are 20 times more than what they were 10 years ago. Almost $3 billion, 25,000 crores. Exports in the year ended day before yesterday on 31st March. And I'm sure the current year's target with Rajesh ji being there would be equally ambitious for significant growth in the years to come. Our defense production is ramping up significantly. We are getting more and more Atmanirbhar, self-reliant for our defense needs. And at the same time, we are having collaborations and partnerships with the best in the world so that our defense preparedness becomes truly world-class. And nobody कोई हमारी तरफ आंख उठा के कभी देखने की हिम्मत भी ना कर सके. Friends, मैं सोच रहा था, other than giving you a big target for next year's Startup Mahakumbh, and possibly what I would suggest, Prashant, is we consider if it's possible to get both Yashobhumi and this. तो 1.5 लाख स्क्वायर मीटर यहाँ अकेले तो मिलेगा नहीं आपको. आप हंस रहे हो, मुझे डर लग रहा है. खुशी की हंसी है या स्केप्टिसिज्म है? Look, I have Rajesh has worked with me. Sanjeev works with me. Bhuvaneshwar works with me. Himani Pandey here works with me. I have many colleagues over here. Is that an acceptable answer in any of my meetings? It's all in the mind. It's a mind game. After all, अगर आपके mindset में success नहीं होता, तो आप सब यहाँ पे बैठे नहीं होते, आप सब startup की दुनिया से जुड़े नहीं होते. It's all over here. हिम्मत भी होनी चाहिए, अपने ऊपर आत्मविश्वास भी होना चाहिए, अपनी काबिलियत के ऊपर भरोसा होना चाहिए, और दुनिया की कोई ताकत नहीं है जो हमको सफल होने से रोकेगी नहीं. And I have a lot of nice things I can talk to you, but I want to put up a slide which a friend sent me 3 days ago. Can you put it on? It disturbed me a lot. And my reply to him was very inspiring. Why I'm telling you what my reply to this was, because I want each one of you to go back with this slide in your mind. And I hope each one of you will take an inspiration from this slide. If it's small in print, what I would urge the organizers to do is actually put up a big board of this somewhere in the exhibition hall tomorrow morning so that everybody reads it once. हो सकता है कि कोई लोग मेरी आलोचना भी कर सकते हैं कि तुम दूसरे देश से क्यों कंपेयर कर रहे हो. मुझे कोई आपत्ति नहीं है. हमने सीखना होता है. We have to be willing to evolve. We have to be willing to learn. We want to aspire to be bigger and better. Then we have to be bolder, and we should not fight shy of the competition. After all, we are the world's third largest startup ecosystem. But I'm sure each one of you aspires that India should be the world's largest startup ecosystem. We have the world's largest STEM graduates coming out of India, year on year. And 43% of them are our sisters and daughters. And there's no reason why this slide cannot be a foreteller of the future for us. What are India's startups doing today? We are focused on food delivery apps, turning unemployed youth into cheap labor so the rich can get their meals without moving out of their house. And against that, what does a Chinese startup do? Work on developing electric mobility, battery technologies. And with that, they're today dominating the electric mobility ecosystem. We are very proud of what India has done. But are we the best in the world as yet? Not yet. Should we aspire to be? Or are we going to be happy being delivery boys and girls? Look at the second one. I've been going through a lot of our startup success stories. And when I go all over the country, we often have startup presenting to us what work they're doing. Fancy ice cream and cookies. In fact, I know at least 3 or 4 billionaires whose children make on one brand or the other very fancy ice creams and cookies and run a very successful business, and I have no complaint against that. But is that the destiny of India? क्या भारत का भविष्य उससे संतुष्ट है? Healthy ice cream, zero gluten free, whatever, I don't know. We are vegan. ये सब शब्द लगा के अच्छी पैकेजिंग करके हम स्टार्टअप बोलते हैं अपने आप को. ये स्टार्टअप नहीं है, ये एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप है, ये बिजनेस है. दूसरी तरफ सेमीकंडक्टर्स में ग्रोथ हो रही है. आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस खुद की अपने देश की बन रही है लोगों की. दे आर इन्वेस्टिंग हेवीली टू बिकम सेल्फ रिलायंट, building chips, AI models, which will prepare the nation for the future. भारत ने क्या करना है? आइसक्रीम बनानी है या चिप्स बनाने हैं? उसके लिए हम सबको हिम्मत करनी पड़ेगी. और ये इतना ही मैं इन्वेस्टर्स को भी कह रहा हूं, अमन गुप्ता, शार्क टैंक में जरा चेंज करो अपने पर्सपेक्टिव्स को. Third example, instant grocery delivery. I had not planned this, by the way. When I was sitting there, I opened my talking points. मेरे पास बड़े अच्छे talking points दिए हैं मेरी टीम ने. I read it and I said, अगर ये लोग organically आए हैं और अगर इसमें से मैं एक शब्द भी बोलूं, तो इतना नक्की है कि स्टार्टअप महाकुंभ नंबर 3 में empty hall को एड्रेस करने आऊंगा. That's when I asked Prashant. I took out my phone. I said, Prashant, I got this 3 days back. Is it okay if I pull it up on the screen and discuss this with the audience? That's when I asked my colleague to show it to all of you. Instant grocery delivery, latest hot on the block. I have no problems. He can list at a few $1 billion. I'm very happy. I only wish it had more Indian investors rather than the foreigners buying off all our startups. And ये सिद्धार्थ आप सबके लिए चेतावनी है. We need more Indian investors into the game. Again, of course, I won't comment on what it's making people and how our resources are going only towards hyper-fast logistics And look at what the other side is doing. Robotics, automation, machine learning, preparing themselves for 3D manufacturing. Next-gen factories that are more efficient and that compete with the rest of the world and capture markets. हम रोते रह सकते हैं, चॉइस हमारी है, यहाँ युवा पीढ़ी होने के कारण मैंने ये पुटअप किया. Are we as the future of India? और 2047 में शायद भुवनेश्वर को छोड़ के मे बी मैडम हम में से तो और कोई नहीं होगा. फ्रंट रो के भी इस तरफ के लोग छोड़ दो तो उस तरफ के लोग तो शायद नहीं होंगे. अमन यार तेरे को बाहर रख रहा हूं. y'all are the sculptors of new India. You have to make Viksit Bharat 2047 happen. And that is eminently possible when we start looking at the right side of that chart, which we'll put up at the exhibition hall. We'll need to go global. We'll need to think big. We'll need to be ambitious. We'll need to experiment. We'll need to go beyond the boundaries of our own thinking. Let's not limit ourselves with the past. Let's explore the unknown. And frankly, when we look at deep tech, and when I see the numbers are still probably 1,000 companies, 1,000 startups in the deep tech ecosystem, disturbing sign. Wealth creation in the short run may happen with some of these conveniences. पर दुकानदारी का ही काम करना है हमें या विश्वव्यापी और इंटरनेशनल स्केल का भारत की पहचान बनानी है. That, friends, is the choice before us. We may do all sorts of international trade agreements, and today under Prime Minister Modi's guidance and leadership, we are not aiming small. We are not looking at agreements with countries who are in a situation which is even worse than what India is in. That used to be the Congress culture. They would do agreements with countries like, who are much weaker than us. What Modi ji does is agreements with Australia. We are aspiring to do an agreement with EU, the 27-nation bloc, with UK, with USA, with Peru, with Chile, with Australia, with New Zealand, with Oman, with Bahrain, Qatar. Our ambitions are to compete with the best in the world. With every one of them, we talk of a startup bridge. But I can't take to them grocery stores and say this is India's offering for startups. I still remember Mr. Vajpayee when he was Prime Minister. And he had added to the old famous words of Lal Bahadur Shastri, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. He had said Jai Vigyan, science. Jai Kisan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan. What Modi ji has added is Jai Anusandhan, that's innovation. And unless India gets recognized across the world as a nation that has developed the spirit of inquiry in every child born in this country. Why do you think we are adding 50,000 Atal Tinkering Labs? I think this budget announced that, right? Because at the school stage, we want our children to develop that inquisitiveness, that desire to explore the impossible. That desire to be creative, to think out of the box, to be innovative. I had requested that we should get all the incubators from all over the country because it's inspirational to see the wonderful work the startups who have participated in Startup Mahakumbh are showcasing. Today I have a call and another program. Parliament is passing a bill, the Umeed bill, where we are finally going to give justice to our Muslim brothers and sisters for whose sake the waqfs are created, but sadly over the years have become a medium of misuse. We are passing that bill in the Rajya Sabha today and bringing in important amendments, and that bill is called Umeed. ये उम्मीद, ये सहारा बनेगा उन गरीब लोगों का जिनके लिए किसी व्यक्ति ने अपने देहांत के टाइम पे कुछ ट्रस्ट क्रिएट किया, कुछ वक्फ क्रिएट किया, गरीबों का भला हो, गरीबों को कुछ लाभ मिले, गरीबों को शिक्षा मिले, गरीबों का स्वास्थ्य हो और साथ ही साथ धर्म का भी उनका प्रभाव बढ़े. इन सब कामों के लिए वक्फ बने थे. आस्ते 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 करके मिसयूज का साधन बन गए. मुझे लगता है हमको इतनी सारी चीजें विरासत में मिली थी कि आधा समय जाता है पुरानी बीमारियों को ठीक करने का, आधा समय जाता है आप सबको इंस्पायर करके देश को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए. पर मैं कल वापस आऊंगा. आई एम कमिंग टुमारो, डे आफ्टर टुमारो. ओ माय गॉड, it is almost like a movie dialogue, na? I remember one movie. मैं आऊंगा, लौट के आऊंगा. Was it? किसका था? I think it was a Karan Arjun, Amitabh Bachchan dialogue. No, I can't claim that, so I better stay out of. But I'm coming tomorrow to actually join all of you, visit your stalls, meet all of you, and I'm looking forward to a wonderful journey that you have gone through and making that a part of my life as I meet each one of you tomorrow. But I can assure you that we stand committed to your success. It may happen that occasionally one or two may not be successful, but not only will I repeat that old adage, failure is the stepping stone to success. But I have asked the organizers that we have that platform, Bhaskar. In the Bhaskar platform, I would like them to add a module for those who may not have succeeded, for handholding them, for taking care of them, for the rest of their journey. And this thought came to me only a month ago or 20 days ago. Some of you may have heard of Chakra Innovation. Srivastav hai na koi? Krishna Srivastav. He had come and he had showcased some of his innovative work to me in Vanijya Bhavan. And while I was talking to him, he mentioned about somebody who had not been as successful as him and was going through a depression. And I realized कि हम भाषण तो बहुत दे देते हैं, पर हमने उनके लिए कभी कुछ सोचा नहीं कि कुछ ठोस करें. और हम भी ऐसे ही सीखते हैं, आप लोग से मिल के ही सीखते हैं. हमको कोई भंडार बाहर से कोई इंपोर्ट नहीं किया हमने भी यहाँ पे. आप लोग को मिलते हैं, आपके कुछ विचार आते हैं, उसमें से हम सीखते हैं. And I realized that amongst all our startup work, I think we have given a lot of good updesh or sermons to somebody who may not have been very successful. But let's now, Prashant, create something to handhold those who are not successful. Encourage him to try again. Maybe help him find his roots. And that should be the takeaway of Startup Mahakumbh too. And I'll come tomorrow. I'd like to meet all of you at the stalls. I'll try my best to understand as much as possible of what good work is happening. I believe almost 1,500 budding startups have been invited free of charge. इतना statistics में खराब नहीं है अपनी हालत है. 1,500 pods have been given free of charge. DPITT pods, they are different. There's a different section. Are they charged anything at all? Pakka? But that's what I was promised, that they will not be charged anything. So by 25, and I was going to suggest earlier, reh gaya, कि you may also see which dates both venues are available. Next time, try to have both venues, have a much grander and bigger show. At that time, we will try to, and we must try and see that every district in the country, every district, we have 770 odd districts, every district in the country should be present at the next Startup Mahakumbh. And if you are expecting about 100,000 visitors looking at today's number this time, I hope the next edition we can look at a number of at least 500,000 visitors coming to Startup Mahakumbh. And that should not be all Delhi or Delhi based or NCR based. Let's try and encourage children from across the country. Maybe a way to get this message across the country. Every college around the country, we run a competition from early on and select 5 children who have a bent of mind towards innovation, and get 5 children from maybe 5,000 colleges all over the country to come and visit the Startup Mahakumbh. Maybe we see if we can get every incubator, and we have 1,000+ incubators, to try and send their startup to come. Many will participate with stalls or pods, whatever, and many would like to come and see. I'm told we have 1,000 investors this time around. Siddharth, how many investors will come for next Startup Mahakumbh? 3,000. His maths is correct, 3x. So next time, 3,000 investors. And I'll have a room full of investors. I'll get Prime Minister Modi to come for that. And if you call 3,000 investors and 5,000 startups of eminence whom we call in the room, then we can have the function at Yashobhumi, where we have a convention center which can accommodate 7,000 people in one venue. So let's think big. Let's be bold. And I tell you, जब ये inauguration की बात कर रहे थे, मैंने actually पूछा कि आएगा कौन, ये इससे जो बार-बार ये organic की बात कर रहे हैं ना, मैंने पूछा था कि काय के लिए inauguration का function कर रहे हैं, वहाँ पे सीधा I'll come and visit. But they wanted me to come and interact with you. I'm glad I came. I'm truly glad I came, and I got to meet such a wonderful set of enthusiasts who believe in Startup India. The Startup Maharti is also a very good initiative. I believe they've collected a 50 crore fund, which is going to be India's largest private funded challenge of 50 crores, which will be dispersed through the Startup Maharti program. The funding that you are giving is over and above that, I believe? Is over and above that. We have the NCIIPC Startup AI Challenge, which you are running, which will be another 20 crores. So that's 70 crores in terms of challenge money going to encourage new young startups. What will be the target for next year? 3x इसमें फिर मजा नहीं आएगा, वो नंबर में दम नहीं है. एक चीज तो नक्की है, मुझे लगता है नेक्स्ट ईयर ये नहीं बुलाएंगे मुझे. At least 500 crores. Defense can pitch in a little bit. Defense also, the startup ecosystem is growing. NASSCOM should pitch in a little bit. Get hold of NASSCOM on the table. Then get hold of all the tech areas, semiconductors and AI. So we have Micron coming in, we have advanced applied materials, all these big companies. Let's get the private sector in a bigger way and create a really good pool of capital. And I promise you, actually 500 निकल गया मुंह से, 1000 बोलता तो 1000 crore हो जाता. Honestly, it's in the mind. Believe me, friends. हमें हिम्मत करने की जरूरत है. एक बार हमने ठान लिया कुछ करना है, हम जैसे ठान लेते हैं हमको चुनाव जीतना ही है. मेरा तो पहला लोकसभा चुनाव था. I was very scared. But got tons and tons of love and affection from Mumbai. Maybe you should do one program in Mumbai also. That will be a half-yearly program. But truly wonderful meeting all of you. For us, your success story is not counted as, let's say, an average revenue per unit, not an ARPU that we get out of the startups participating in this Startup Mahakumbh. For us, the ARPU is the accelerated rise in your prosperity, ARPU. The accelerated rise per unit, per startup, showing your prosperity. And if you are prosperous, if you are able to benefit from the 10,000 crores Startup Fund of Funds second edition that was announced in this budget, if some of you can benefit from that, grow, maintain your ownership. And I really feel very sad when I come to know that for the first 25 or 50 lakhs, some bright idea of a young startup got sold to a foreign company or got sold to one of these. I didn't use the word shark, did I? I didn't. But truly, let's try and get some more domestic capital coming into this ecosystem. I'd like to meet with all the unicorns. Prashant, again, your responsibility. Sanjeev, you also a unicorn, right? एक तो candidate यहाँ ही है. Aman Gupta is another unicorn. और कोई है यहाँ पे? अगली बार आएंगे ही नहीं program में, ऐसा हो जाएगा. All the unicorns, I want to make a public appeal to you. You contribute in a fund in India. Maybe ASSOCHAM is here, FICCI is here. ASSOCHAM is here. We have friends from CII also over here. Can we persuade some of the good Indian industry also to contribute so that we can create pools of domestic capital? और मैं तो उम्मीद करूंगा कि हमारे भारत के investors और हो सके तो even the foreign investors should be a little more benevolent, giving clawback to our founders, to the Indian young startups, so that they can get a respectable ownership of their work, of the good work that they are doing, of what they create. I think this will be my appeal to all investors in the room and beyond, to all those who have been involved with the startup ecosystem all these years, a little bit more of a little bigger heart towards the startup ecosystem. And I promise you, these young boys and girls can do wonders, and India can grow towards its mission of Viksit Bharat 2047. Much faster, much better, much more creatively, with lots and lots of innovation, the hard work of our youth, coupled with Your ability to spot talent will transform the India growth story. We will not only rewrite the rules of the game of the past, but we will be creating unicorns of the future. We will be creating a new journey to the Startup India vision. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your invigorating address and unwavering commitment to India's startup landscape. Your leadership empowers all of us to scale new heights and make India a global hub for innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of this inspiring and uplifting session. A heartfelt thank you to all our esteemed speakers and to each one of you for being part of this transformative dialogue. The future of Indian startup is here, and together we are shaping it. Thank you all and have a wonderful evening. Has he left? Has he left? Has he left? Has he left?